Harvey is devastating the areas of Houston, Texas with really bad flooding. I'm Mike Naso with continuing coverage on our tropical video update page here. With Harvey, no longer a hurricane, now a tropical storm, but very, very heavy rainfall falling. Areas like Houston, Beaumont, as the storm continues to sit and spin. We actually just had a tornado warning for the Houston metropolitan area, seems to have been dropped, but a lot of severe weather in here as well. We're going to get right to it. Here's the latest as of 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Tropical Storm Harvey. It was at 29.0 north, 97.4 west. The wind's still 40 miles an hour, so it's still a tropical storm, and because it's so close to water, and will probably even re-emerge slightly over the Gulf of Mexico, it is expected to remain a tropical storm through Wednesday, as it continues to sit and spin here near the Texas coast. It's moving south-southeast at 2 miles per hour, barely moving. And you can see here, we're still talking today, tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Harvey is not expected to move a lot. So even though it's no longer a hurricane, and certainly not the Cat 4 hurricane it came ashore as, you do not need a strong tropical system to create very heavy flooding rain, and unfortunately that is what we are going to continue to see with Harvey as it stalls and loops around here in areas of eastern Texas for the next 5 days. Very, very devastating. The computer models are all in good agreement that that's what's going to happen with this system. We do have a flash flood emergency for northeast Colorado County and southeast Texas. This is Harris County, eastern Wharton County, Austin, Grimes, Washington, Galveston, southwest Montgomery, Fort Bend, northern Brazoria, Waller County, and central Matagorda County. And this is a flash flood emergency, which means that dangerous flooding is occurring now. So don't attempt to travel in this area. If you are in a dry, safe place, stay put. And remember the slogan, turn around, don't drown. Do not move your motor vehicle through floodwaters at all, ever. There was a civil emergency message issued a couple of hours ago out of Houston saying that do not stay in your attic. If you're evacuating the higher levels of your home, do not stay in your attic. A lot of people don't have the proper equipment or axes to get out. If it becomes too dangerous in your house, get up on the roof. Get up on the roof to try and escape the floodwaters, okay? There's a look at the radar out of Houston. Long range, looking out, you can see the continued fetch of tropical moisture right off the hot August Gulf of Mexico, not helping with rainfall at all. Heavier thunderstorm activity too south of Houston, and especially headed here towards Lake Charles, Intercoastal City, Beaumont. You guys in Louisiana are going to get in on the action. So there's a lot of heavy rain, and it's not going to go away at all anytime soon. You can see the spinning here near Victoria, where the center of the tropical storm is. And again, it came ashore north of Corpus, and it's still sitting in the same general area it's been at for the last 12, 18, 24 hours, 36 hours, hasn't moved. And it's not expected to move much, drift back out over water, loop back up again. It's just going to be a very, very severe, prolonged flooding event. If you remember Allison back in 2001, what that did to Houston, came in as a tropical storm, looped around a couple of days and then moved on, flooded the Gulf Coast all the way up to North Carolina. That was a terrible system. This one isn't even going to leave this area in the next 3, 4, 5 days, and that is very, very scary for people as far as flooding is concerned. You can see the rain amount so far in Texas. Look at Houston. You guys getting 10 plus inches of rain, and this is just the 1 day observation. So this is just the rainfall we've seen in 1 day, upwards of at least 10 inches in areas of Houston. But guys, I'm telling you, we could be talking about 50 inches locally in some areas. 10 to 20 is almost a given. Look at what we've already observed here. We've got Houston, Galveston. You guys are just getting pounded so far. 25 inches of rain. Some reports over 30 inches. It's going to continue, unfortunately, just the constant fetch of Gulf moisture And very, very bad news. Beaumont, you guys are starting to get into the 10 to 20 inch range in some areas, so the flooding there as well. All the little rivers and creeks just going to spill their banks and cause a lot of problems. So again, if you need to evacuate your building, if you are not in a safe place, do not go to your attic. If you're in your house as the water rises, get to the roof. There have already been over 1,000 rescues today. These guys, these emergency managers are on it. They're trying to get to you. We do not want what happened in New Orleans during Hurricane Katrina. Okay, we cannot have that loss of life again. So, if you live in Houston, be on the lookout as the flooding comes. If your house begins to flood, get as high as you can. If you can't go any higher, get to the roof. Get to the roof, call 911. They will get you. There have been a lot of rescues. Stay off the roads. Do not go on the roads. You can't even pass the roads anyways. I mean, don't go on the roads. There are no roads. The freeways in Houston are already getting flooded out. So just take heed of what your local emergency officials are telling you, and just do what you can. Do what you can. There are the computer models which show that Harvey will eventually start to move, but again, this is out 5 days. Arkansas and Houston are not that far apart when you're talking about 5 days travel time. So for a tropical cyclone to stick around this area that long, that is rare. It happens, but it is rare. And so it's just a real pain. It's a pain because we cannot get rid of this system at all. You can see on the water vapor loop I wanted to show you, the moisture fetch in from the Gulf, pretty good blow up happening over areas of western Louisiana. That's probably where those rainfall amounts near Beaumont and areas of Lake Charles are starting to show up. Again, as the moisture pumps in, it's not going to stop. If anything, if the system drifts back southeast and comes over water, we could have more convection build as the system starts to strengthen. Now again, it's not expected to become a hurricane again, and it will be a, wind-wise, it'll be a shell of its former self. However, doesn't matter about the intensity when it comes to the rain. So the last thing we want is the center to move over water again and more convection to build and just prolong even further the flooding that's occurring in Texas and Louisiana. So again, if you live anywhere in Louisiana and Texas, you guys are under the gun for some serious flooding, especially in areas like Houston right now, getting pounded as Harvey continues to cause devastating flooding in the Texas area. I'm Mike Naso. We'll stay tuned and keep an eye and do everything you can to avoid dangerous, flooded homes, roads, and buildings.